She smiled at every table, and every table passed her by, until one voice laughed a little too loud. He didn't laugh for long. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't flinch. But when she answered, the room forgot how to breathe. The click came sharp and fast, like a finger snapping a command at a dog. "Water, girl, you hear me?" Jasmine Carter didn't look up. The overhead lights buzzed quietly, and the tile beneath her shoes felt sticky from the dinner rush. She stepped toward the table, a carafe in one hand, a folded towel in the other. Silent, precise, a nod. She poured the water without spilling a drop. The man didn't thank her. He waved her away like a waiter swats a fly. Jasmine turned, adjusted her apron with 2 fingers, and walked back toward the station. Her name stitched on the fabric, J. Carter, was the only thing about her that seemed permanent. Behind the swinging kitchen door, the air turned hot and loud. Pans clanged, orders barked. She moved past them like a shadow. One of the line cooks laughed, loud, not friendly. "Girls got a whole-ass degree and still here scrubbing forks." The other cook snorted. "Yeah, could be teaching French or something. Instead, she's bleaching silver." Jasmine didn't stop. She dipped her hands into warm suds, ran a sponge over a chipped plate. Someone bumped into her elbow. She said nothing. In the mirror above the sink, her reflection was blurred by steam, but her hands, steady, fast, kept moving. She tugged her apron straight again before stepping back onto the floor. "Jasmine?" Marcus, the manager, called without looking up from the tablet in his hand. "Cover Julie's tables tonight." "Of course." Again. She nodded. He didn't wait for a reply. The dining room was bright, with soft jazz humming under the clink of forks and knives. A warm laugh rose from the far booth, where an elderly woman sat reading a menu like it was a novel. Her lipstick was too red for her age. Her earrings sparkled. "Bonsoir, madame," Jasmin said gently, sliding a glass toward her. The woman's eyes lit up. "Ah, vous parlez français?" "Un peu," Jasmin replied with a smile. More than a little, but she didn't say that. The woman laughed. Real, delighted. "C'est si rare, I see." Jasmine bowed her head slightly. The woman touched her wrist with soft fingers, and for the first time that evening, someone looked at Jasmine as if she were a person. At the server station, Aaron, the new trainee, watched. He noticed the way Jasmine's shoulders never tensed, how she never raised her voice even when someone deserved it. He was about to say something when another server, tall and gum-snapping, nudged him. "Don't get distracted by the quiet ones," she said. "She won't help you. She's always drowning." Aaron didn't answer, but his eyes stayed on Jasmine, and then he came in. Bradley Stone didn't walk so much as declare his presence. Loud laugh, flashy shirt. The door closed behind him like it was beneath him. The staff stiffened, eyes dropped. He walked right up to the hostess, leaned on the stand with his elbow. "I want the one that speaks languages," he said, as if ordering from a menu. The hostess looked confused. Marcus appeared behind her, already rubbing the back of his neck. "Jasmine, please take table 9. She nodded once. Bradley grinned when she approached. "Ah, the mysterious genius in an apron. Let's see what you've got." His group, men with 2 white teeth, women who spoke like everyone owed them something, laughed, unsure what was funny. Bradley turned to her, eyes narrowed. "Why Gates?" he asked, mangling the pronunciation. Jasmine blinked once, then replied evenly, in fluent German. She even corrected his grammar, kindly, calmly, like a teacher. He blinked. One of his friends muttered, "Smart girl." Bradley smiled, but something faltered at the corners, a crack in the polish. He leaned back in his chair, swirling his wine. Smart people don't wear aprons. Jasmine stood still. For a second, everything stopped. The clatter, the chatter, even the jazz. Then she looked straight at him. My father wore an apron until the day he died. 2 jobs, 1 heart attack. Still smarter than anyone I've ever served. The table went silent. A glass clinked somewhere far away. Bradley's smirk died in the shadow of her gaze. She didn't raise her voice, didn't take a step back. I went to college because he didn't get to. I learned languages so my sisters could speak without fear. And I wear this, she smoothed the fabric at her waist, because this job feeds them. Bradley opened his mouth, closed it, laughed, but no one joined in. Jasmine walked away. She didn't look back. Marcus watched from the edge of the kitchen, arms crossed, lips pressed tight. He didn't say a word. The room, for a moment, was still. Not quiet, not exactly, but the kind of still that happens right before the sky cracks open. The next morning, nobody said her name, but everyone said what she had done. In hushed voices, behind menus and coffee pots, servers whispered as they reset tables. The words floated like steam, never direct, never loud. "Did you hear?" She said it, just like that. To him? Bradley Stone. Jasmine wiped down the espresso machine, fingers steady. The rag in her hand moved in circles, not fast, not slow. She didn't glance up when Sarah, arms folded and eyebrows raised, stepped beside her. "You should have let it go," Sarah said. Jasmine kept wiping. "I did, until yesterday. No anger, no bite. Just truth." Sarah shook her head, muttered something about drama, and walked off. Jasmine took a slow breath. The smell of burnt milk lingered in the air. Later, as she filled ramekins with butter pats, her mind drifted, not far, just to a library that smelled of old wood and dust. She saw her father's hand on a page, his finger tracing the line of a sentence he didn't quite understand, asking her what the word meant. She'd been 8. He said, "Knowledge isn't noise, Jazz. It's armor." He tapped her forehead. "You keep it in here, quiet, until it needs to come out." Back in the present, a chair scraped across the tile floor. A man in a business jacket, not the same as Bradley, but not different either, waved a lazy hand. "Is she here?" he asked the hostess. "The girl from last night." Jasmine stepped forward. The man gave a little smile. "Thought so." By noon, more tables requested her section. A couple whispered as she poured their water. "She the one?" "I think so. She said something to that guy." In the back office, Marcus rubbed his temples. "Don't make a scene," he said when she brought him the day's receipts. "I'm not," Jasmine replied. "I'm serving food." Still, his eyes lingered on her longer than before. Out by the server station, Aaron handed her a small cup. "I, thought you might want a coffee." She looked at it, then at him. "Thanks." He didn't leave. "I've got this table," he said quickly. "They're from El Paso. Don't speak much English." She raised an eyebrow. He hesitated, then added, "How do you say no onions in Spanish?" A corner of her mouth lifted. Not a full smile, but close. That evening, the door opened again. slower this time. Bradley Stone walked in alone. No entourage, no phone out, no swagger. He looked smaller somehow, or maybe the light just hit him different. He spotted her and walked straight to the bar stool near the window. She didn't rush to him. Finished folding a napkin first, then approached. "You're still here?" he said. She nodded. "We don't all have the luxury to leave." He looked down at the counter. "I wrote you something." She didn't move, didn't blink. "A letter," he added. "Apology." She tilted her head slightly. "I didn't get it." "No, I didn't send it." He let out a breath. "You mad?" "I'm busy," she said, and walked away. At the sink, the warm water soaked through her glove. She didn't flinch, just pressed the cloth harder. That night, she stared into the mirror above the employee lockers. The fluorescent light flickered once. She looked tired. Older. She saw herself in black. Black dress, black veil, little sisters clinging to her skirt. Her mother's voice in the church echoing, "You're the wall now." The wall, the thing that holds. She didn't cry then. Didn't now. The next morning, Marcus handed her a crisp white apron in a plastic sleeve. "Congrats," he said. "You're lead server now." She looked at the apron. "Is the pay different?" He looked uncomfortable. "Well, not yet." "Thanks," she said flatly. "Can I get one without mustard on it?" She turned it over in her hands. Smooth fabric, no stains, same stitched name, J. Carter. She tied it slowly around her waist. This time, the knot felt deliberate. Lunch shift. Bradley came in again. This time, he wasn't alone. A small girl, maybe 9, followed him, clinging to his hand. Hair braided neatly, eyes wide. He sat her at the table and looked around like he didn't want to be seen. Jasmine approached with a notepad. Before she could speak, the girl asked in a soft voice, "Do you really know French?" Jasmine crouched to her level. "Yes," she said. The girl's eyes widened. "Can you teach me?" Jasmine nodded. "If you want." The girl looked up at her father. He said nothing, just looked away. The staff had gone quiet again. Watching. Not from curiosity, from respect. Something had changed. After the meal, after the girl waved shyly and they left, Marcus approached the server station. He leaned on the counter. "You've changed this place." Jasmine didn't stop wiping the surface. "I didn't leave," she said. Marcus nodded. The buzz of the light above them seemed softer than yesterday. A letter sat in her bag for 3 days before she read it. Cream envelope. Bradley Stone's name printed neatly on the back. No perfume, no weight. She opened it while waiting for the 6:10 bus, the headlights flickering just beyond the stop sign. The ink was dark, the handwriting uneven. A few lines of apology, a few more of respect. An offer, formal, almost cold in its phrasing, to join a multilingual development team overseas. Competitive pay, travel. Your talents deserve a larger stage. Jasmine folded the paper once, then twice, slipped it back inside. The bus groaned as it pulled up, and she stepped on without hesitation. In the kitchen, the air had shifted. They still talked behind her back, but now it was different. Quieter. Curious. Less like knives. More like measuring sticks. "She's too clean," Sarah said, breaking a breadstick in 2. "Too perfect." Aaron, wiping down the pastry case, glanced at her. Maybe that's not weakness. Jasmine passed them with a tray of wine glasses, one hand steady beneath the weight. She didn't break stride. Later, a new girl started. Couldn't have been more than 19. Eyes down, tray trembling, bumping her shoulder on the pass window. She whispered an apology and dropped a fork. Jasmine picked it up, didn't speak, just placed it gently in her hand and adjusted her grip on the tray. A pause. The girl's thank you was almost a breath. At table 6, a man she recognized, one of the rude ones from her first month, stood awkwardly near his chair. I came back to say... He stopped, scratched his neck. You were right. I wasn't myself. Jasmine looked him over, tilted her head. Seems like you are now. He nodded and sat without another word. That evening, the restaurant hummed low with quiet talk and silverware tapping china. Bradley came again, this time lingering at the threshold like he didn't know where to put himself. He approached slowly. No jacket, no sunglasses. She told me you taught her a new word, he said. Jasmine wiped down the hostess stand. Which one? Papillon, he said. She's been writing it on everything. Jasmine didn't smile, but something in her eyes softened. Bradley shifted his weight. I wanted to ask again. About the job. If you've thought about... I have, she said. He waited. I'm staying. For now. His mouth opened, then shut. You've got a daughter, she said. Start with her. He didn't argue. He just nodded and walked out. Later, Marcus found her folding napkins, late after close. He walked in from the back, holding something. Got this made. It was an apron, but not like the others. New, dark charcoal fabric. And her name, J. Carter, stitched in gold thread. Not fancy, just certain. She ran her hand over the letters. They caught the light. He handed it to her. You don't owe us anything, he said. She looked at him. I know. The next shift, Aaron greeted a couple in Spanish. Not perfect, but confident. Same tone, same rhythm. Jasmine heard it as she walked past. He didn't need help. He'd listened. The ripple was moving. Outside, the windows of the restaurant glowed warm against the dusk. Families ate. Strangers nodded to each other. The same booths, the same floors, but softer now. Something underneath had shifted. An older woman came in, holding a book wrapped in ribbon. You probably don't remember me, she said. You spoke French to me, once. Jasmine took the book carefully. My daughter used to speak that way. Jasmine didn't reply, just touched the woman's hand for a second longer than necessary. When she walked away, her eyes were wet. But it didn't feel like drama. Just full. The next morning, same bus stop, same street, same sun trying to rise behind power lines. She stepped onto the Route 7, nodded to the driver. He blinked, then cleared his throat. Good morning, ma'am, he said. The words were rough, like he hadn't used them in a while. Jasmine adjusted the strap of her new apron. The fabric was smooth against her palm. She looked out the window, the city sliding past in dull gold. She didn't smile, but she didn't need to. She hadn't shouted, but everyone had gone quiet.